Yeah, sure.
Sure, how quick is it?
A minute.
Awards, and I was like, what is this?
100 people.
Okay.
They whittled it down to 10.
A minute.
Who made this? Oh, did you? I'm sitting there looking at you. I could do a really good Bela Lugosi makeup.
So, did you see the competing videos?
Yeah, actually I did. Yeah.
Did you think you had a chance when you saw the competition? Is the real question.
There were a couple films there that were really good. Lamaze of the Dead comes to mind. The Samaritan was really good. I can't remember the titles, but they were all really cool. And the thing that I want to support more than anything is the fact that these people got out, they made their short film. The internet is giving them a distribution tool.
Right.
Cameras are now cheap enough that you can just get your movie and make it, and I think it's really cool. The socialization, the democratization of filmmaking, it's really nice.
It's a different world than it was back then. You had to buy the film, process the film, cut the film, color time the film, transfer the film. Now, we do our films usually in a day.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think made yours the winner?
All I can say is it scared me, so I think that I was drawing from my childhood, that what's in the dark, things gonna get you. Very old-fashioned horror, it's not a slasher, it's just a bump in the night, creepy sort of Lovecraftian, Edgar Allan Poe, sort of, it's so old that hopefully it's new again.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
So you go for the classic traditional horror?
Yeah, I'm a big Hammer horror, the old American International stuff. As far as James Whale, Murnau.
Awesome.
You could ask me about 4 of the Saw movies and I couldn't give you a good answer, but I can tell you everything you want to know about James Whale.
Absolutely. But you're here at Halloween Horror Nights and they have a Saw maze, but there's no James Whale Frankenstein maze.
There's no yeah, right. There's no Jacob's Ladders tonight, which is going to probably scare the hell out of me, so we'll see.
How you doing?
I'm good.
So
How are
Saw
you?
6?
Saw 6.
Did you ever think you would be in a Saw movie and end up here at the Eyegore Awards?
Man, no. Watching Saw 1 through 5, I would have never guessed that one day Tanidra Howard was going to be in the 6th installment of Saw. Never would have dreamed. And I'm glad it's like the best experience ever.
So what's it like being on this red carpet here, having everyone want to talk to you?
It's pretty sexy. It's kind of silky. I can give a walk on. It's fun. I'm having a good time here. This is great. It's not as bad as people made it out to see. Made it out to be.
So without giving anything away, could you be back for Saw 7?
If they love me, I would hope so. I'd like to be loved. I mean, you got to keep the race quota, right?
Yes. We got to keep our demographics balanced.
You're right,
yes.
right. This is the one.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Movies, they got a good idea, no money, and you see it and you think, had a good idea, too bad they didn't have a budget.
Yes.
How did you get that thing to turn out so fantastic?
Well, thank you.
It's a lot of hard work, and like the knee-jerk reaction that everyone says, but it's the truth. A lot of great people. We had no money either. I mean, it's just we had some really talented people, who believed in it. It was the kind of project where you didn't do unless you really believed it. So a lot of people were like, I don't want anything to do with this. Not sure how it was going to turn out because of the subject matter. And so everyone was really pretty committed and tried to do something more than you might have expected.
And the script is so out there and so unique that a lot of really talented people said, I may never get the chance to do something that really goes for it. And so it was really an opportunity for these people just to take advantage of it.
So, have you seen the Park Chan-wook film Thirst, which came out around the same time?
Not yet. I've heard about it.
Yeah, it came out when we were doing our
Oh man, you're killing my next question. It's also a film about what happens to people when they're in a situation where there's no moral restraint on them. In the case of Thirst, they're vampires and no one can stop them. In your film, they're teenagers and there's no one there to stop them.
Right.
And they're just both about what happens when you kind of wander off the reservation doing whatever the hell. So, but the whole park's not listening, but your film turned out a little bit more condensed and a lot better, more focused on.
Thank you very much.
So obviously that was the script, but to me that's what made it. It's not just a horror film. You look at that and think, this is horror of a moral dimension. You know, what are people capable of?
Yeah.
So, do you have a real cynical opinion of humanity, or just men in general?
I would say neither. I just think it's, I think we saw, like Trent often says, it's really sort of exciting when you can explore the darker recesses of regular people. And I think it's a story about just regular kids, and they go pretty damn dark, but it's in a lot of people, maybe not to that extent, and this is a hyper-real version of it, but that's what's sort of interesting about it.
I was gonna say, we're very excited that the winner of the best villain of the year here is a 16-year-old high school kid.
Yeah.
That really means a lot to us.
Because there's no character who ultimately resists. The only distinction in the film is how long it takes till they succumb. So that's why it seems like a very cynical depiction of.
Well, I mean, there are other. I'm not saying this is the. There are other interpretations of the ending as well about I mean, that's what's part of interesting about it is like, did the, I don't want to give it away either.
Don't give it away.
If you see it like the ending has different interpretations.
You can look at it a different way.
Yeah.
You can look at it as a kind, loving act or a cynical act.
And who's to say what's actually happening in the end? I mean, when you really go back and look at it.
We know how you interpret it. Because it says more about you than it says about us, but that's okay.
As Dario Argento says, you see your truth, not my truth. Yeah. How much have things changed since from American Werewolf in London to the Wolfman?
Not very much. The biggest change is that the transformation is pretty much CG instead of practical stuff. But
because you really set the standard for werewolf transformations in that film.
Yeah, which is still I find pretty amazing. But yeah, it's I'm just glad to see somebody still making movies with people in makeup and gothic horror films. So I'm hoping it brings those films back.
So you're getting a chance to work on the kind of film you grew up on?
Yeah, and it's a film that I don't have an agent. I don't really pursue jobs. But when I heard they were doing a remake of Wolfman, I just said I have to do this. Wolfman was one of the films that got me, to do the crazy stuff I do. So I really said, you have to let me do this film. So fortunately they did.
That's great. It's a lot to live up to, a high bar.
Yeah, well, but it was fun.
Thanks.